Avi Goldwasser is the co-founder of the Jewish Leadership Project, and he joins us now. And sir, just wanted to get your initial thoughts to kind of what that ad spurred up on Twitter and some of the controversy around it.
Yeah, well, I think for the last couple of decades, ADL and other Jewish organizations have been very much obsessed with the neo-Nazi threat to the Jewish community. And for a variety of reasons, have ignored the emerging threats, which are coming from progressives in academia and the media. Mm-hmm. It's coming from Muslims, new immigrants, and it's coming from radical blacks. And since these are minority groups, the latter two, there's a reluctance to talk about it. They're much more comfortable talking about neo-Nazis because everybody's against the Nazis. But they're reluctant to be accused of Islamophobia or racism by identifying what is emerging a much bigger threat. And what's been happening in the last couple of weeks makes it obvious that they've been ignoring the bigger threat for the sake of maintaining a certain old attitude. They're clinging to the old neo-Nazis, who are a threat and a lethal threat, but not the biggest threat.
No, Nazis, neo-Nazis is despicable, obviously. But I mean, when you look at the world right now, if I'm the ADL, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about all of these groups that I think the ADL has pandered to for the last several years. That you know, the beast they've created that now is going to eat them. I mean, that's what we're seeing, and a lot of the ideology that they have pushed, you know, has emboldened these groups. They push a lot of oppressor, victim ideology, and it's interesting that, I mean, you look at you've been critical voice of the ADL from their own website, anti-bias education, the importance of teaching about systemic oppression. Right there on the website, the people supporting Hamas are using this nonsense to justify their attacks. The same nonsense ADL has. I mean, they supported Black Lives Matter. There it is, right on the ADL website. Here's a tweet from BLM Chicago that we all remember now. It certainly is interesting that they have helped to radicalize these groups that are now coming for them.
Well, I think that they were delusional.
Yeah,
I'm sure they're well-intentioned, and they're conflicted between their political ideology and their fiduciary responsibility to protect the Jewish community. And it has backfired dramatically. Okay, you couldn't be more wrong than the ADL in terms of ignoring the real threats to the Jewish community today. And I think they're not stupid. I think they may be delusional, and I'm sure they're beginning to reassess the whole strategy, which has failed terribly. And they ought to be embarrassed. They ought to apologize to the Jewish community for what they've done.
Well said. Avi Goldwasser, thank you, sir. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, as the war continues in Israel.